Hi guys, welcome back. It's another day in makeup land. It's your girl Janelle Veronica. If you are new here, welcome. If you are subscribed and a returning viewer, welcome back. Nice to have you. Get your cup of coffee or get your beverage, something, sit down, and it's time to just relax and enjoy a calm, cool day in makeup land. Just a quick half an hour or whatever the case may be. Good. So as you can see, my makeup is done. This is what the makeup at the end is going to look like. I'm not even sure what to title this makeup. I think it's the eyes are so subtle and so pretty, and I'll show you the product that I went in with to get the eye look done. Everything is nicely blended. I incorporated a couple new steps or a few, like just one new step into my makeup routine coming on to the end. Then you can watch to see what that step is. All right, so if you want to see, I hate to hear people say that. If you want to see how I achieve this look, keep watching. Anyhow, but let me just say bye for now, and I'll see you in a second, barefaced and ready to get the makeup on. Hi guys, welcome back to Makeup Land. We're just going to jump into the makeup. I've probably already done my intro, so you already know what I'm doing today. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to start by doing some skin prep, and I've been going in with the Advanced Clinicals Collagen and Rosewater facial mist. So we're just going to rehydrate the skin. Alright, and I have oily skin, but I still like to go in with these skin prep steps. I'm going to put on some eye cream. This is just going to make sure that your concealer lays perfectly. And this is the Beauty Formulas Restoring Eye Cream Coenzyme Q10. This is what it looks like. It's pretty reasonable. This is going to make sure that that concealer does not look dry and cakey under your eyes, and it looks extremely smooth. Now the next step that I go in with is my moisturizer. I go in with the CeraVe AM Facial Moisturizing Lotion, which has SPF 30. For my primer, now that skin prep has sunken into the skin nicely and skin looks nice and bouncy and juicy and healthy and radiant, I'm going to go in with the Milk Makeup Mattifying Pore Eclipse Primer. It's a mattifying primer. And I'm concentrating it in my T-zone area where I get extremely oily, and then I'm just going to gently spread the rest around the rest of my face. All right, and we can already hear the birds chirping. You know, the birds chirping are like that's like background noise for my videos. There are always animals in the background. If it's not my dogs, it's the birds or something else. And this milk primer works really good. You can feel it smoothing out the pores and like filling in the pores. So I think there's a little bit of like pore filling to it as well, but you can feel it mattifying the skin. So if you have oily skin, I would recommend that Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. Now for foundation today, I'm going to go in with a Kiss foundation, and I'm also going to go in with a Kiss concealer today as well. I used this Kiss foundation in my last video, and I told y'all guys I would report back because it's so affordable. So I wanted to see if it would hold up, and trust me guys, it is a really good foundation. The shade that I'm going in with is 415 Mocha for the foundation. And when I blend this out, you're going to see how beautiful this foundation is. I'm just going to go in with my Morphe M439 brush and start to pounce that into the skin. And as you can see, look at how beautiful that looks. I picked it up from like my local pharmacy, but you can get it on like Amazon. I'm not sure if there's a Kiss website. If there is, I'll put the information on screen about where exactly you can get this foundation from. And I'm avoiding going directly under my eyes because I'm going to go in with concealer. I don't want too much product underneath the eyes. Now I'm going to go in with my contour. For my contour, I'm going to go in with my Fenty matte stick. This one is in the shade Espresso. So on the cheekbones. This blends out so easily. Alright, and that is the placement that I go in with for my contour. So we're just going to push that contour upwards. And as I said, this blends out so quickly. Okay, you're going to make sure that you push it back into the hairline when you're blending it out. Alright, good. Next is liquid blush, and I'm going to go in with my Juvia's Place liquid blush in the shade Barbie Rose. Just a dot. I always warn y'all guys, whenever I use this blush, I like to warn you guys about how pigmented it is. So start with only one dot, and if you need more, you can apply more. But we've applied that high up on the cheekbone. I like to lift the face, going in a C shape, and then whatever is left, I smile and place it on the cheeks. But I like to concentrate that blush in this area right here. Don't worry about if it looks a little crazy right now. We're going to go in with the under eye concealer and blend everything in. Just going back in with my foundation brush, just to marry that contour and blush. Nice. Now, as I said, I was going in with the Kiss concealer as well. We went in with the Kiss foundation, and I'm pairing it with the Kiss concealer. This is the Kiss Full Cover Concealer Pro Touch, and the shade that I'm going in with is 345 Warm Coconut. So on the inside, on the forehead, a little bit on the chin, above the lips, down the nose. And that is my concealer placement. That is where I like to go in and place my concealer. Now I'm going to let it dry down just a little bit, so that when we go to blend, it doesn't slip and slide all over the place. It has dried down a little bit, and it's going to stay exactly where I blend it. See, even the birds agree. Now to blend that concealer out, I'm going in with a Real Techniques 402, and I start at my chin. Alright, and look at how easily that blended out. Onto the forehead, just in pattern motions. Above the lip. So the last place we're going to blend is the under eye and down the bridge of the nose. Under the eye, we start around the edges. Then we blend the under eye directly. And as you can see, as I said, it tames the concealer and everything transitions smoothly between the under eye, not the concealer, the blush. And then there's a nice gradient between the concealer, the blush, and then the contour. Make sure you blend the side. Make sure you blend the side of your nose as well. And you can place that extra concealer on your lid to begin to prep for the eyeshadow. Or even if you just want to blank your lid out or make your lid look one cohesive color, you can use this step to just go in and put some concealer on the lid. Maybe you have hyperpigmentation, like I know I have hyperpigmentation on my lid. So I like to go in and make sure that everything is like just one color. Now to set my under eye, to set the areas that I concealed, I'm going to go with my Fenty setting powder today. This one is the honey one, which is 05. And I'm going to go in with a powder puff under the eye. Actually, before I do that, I want to contour my nose. So let me go in with the Fenty matte stick that we use for contour. This is the Espresso one. So we're just going to contour that nose quickly before we go in and set. Alright, so we're working in very thin layers with that powder. I love a honey powder. Once a powder says it's honey, just give it to me. Give it to me. So I'm going to go ahead and set all of the other places that I concealed. So on the chin, above the lip, and the forehead. So I'm just going to do that quickly, making sure to press that powder in to really set the concealer down. I like to put some powder into my brows as well, so that when I go to do my brows, the brows are not oily and greasy from like the foundation. Now this Fenty powder is very matte. It is very matte, so you don't need a lot of the powder. I don't think I'm going to bake. I'm not even going to bake today. Normally, I sometimes, depending on the mood. But with this powder, I find, depending on the concealer, I don't normally have to go in and bake. Now I'm just going to quickly set the rest of my face. I'm going to use another Kiss. Can you tell I went and I bought some affordable makeup? Another Kiss product. This is the Kiss Matte Powder Foundation. The shade is 420 Chestnut. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to use this to set the rest of my face. So we're just going to go in with a large powder brush. I forgot to set down the bridge of my nose with that Fenty powder, so please do not let me forget to set down the bridge of my nose. I'm just gonna reinforce that nose contour. This is just the brush that I used to blend it out earlier, so it will still have a little bit of product on it. So just to reinforce. For my bronzer, I'm gonna go in with the Nars. This is the Nars Laguna 07 bronzer. And we're just going to place that on the areas that we went in with that contour. just to warm up the complexion and give us that nice sun-kissed, you know, because as the days are warming up, that nice sun-kissed bronzy look. I'm just going to go back in with my powder blush and blend between the area where we highlighted with the concealer and the bronzer. We're just going to go in the middle of that and make sure that the two transition into one another perfectly. Now to set the contour on my nose, I go in with my Juvia's Place bronzer, and I'm going to go in with this. I'm going to go in with the darker shade today. This is the Dark Duo. Alright guys, so I just did my brows quickly off camera, so we're going to get into some eyeshadow. Now for today, you guys know I always do simple, easy eyeshadow looks. I'm not that much of an eyeshadow girl, to be quite honest, but I do like to have something on my eyes. I do like a little bit of eyeshadow. So I'm going to start with a crease shade, and I'm going to go in with the Juvia's Place Warrior palette, and I just need a brown. So I'm going to go in with, let me get a brush. I'm going to go in with this brown shade. I think it's, what's it called? Cano or Kano? That's what it's called. This one right here. And this is a Palladio blending brush that I'm going in with. And I just want this brown as a crease, just so I have something in the crease. Now before I move on, I set my lids with some of the, remember I had put the concealer on my lid earlier when I was blending out my under eye concealer. Now I just set the lid down with some of the Fenty setting powder as well. Now I'm thinking to go in with, there's a darker brown in the palette. It's like almost black, so I have to be very careful because I want to darken that up a little bit. This one is called Mino, which is this color in the corner. So I'm just going to pat my brush in just a little bit, and I'm just going to concentrate that on the outer V, the outer edge of the eye. I'm just going to go in with a clean brush because I want to really blend that out. So this is a Morphe M434 blending brush. Just in circular motions, just to really diffuse that color because I don't want it to be too dark. And I'm dragging that color through the crease a little bit. Alright, so I like the way how that looks. Nice and smoked out, nicely blended. Now for the lid, I'm going to go in with this Palladio. It's a Palladio eyeshadow stick, and it's in the color called Silver Mauve. I'm going to apply that on the lid. That is so nice. Now I'm keeping it low on the lid, and I'm just blend it out. And blend it a little bit higher, but I'm just trying to lay that color down first. And I'm just gonna go around the edges and start to blend that upwards a little bit. Alright, so the eyes look nice and smoky today. I love the shot. You know what? I'm going to go back. This was so easy to apply. I'm going to go back and pick up this shadow stick by Palladio in every single color that they have. And I'm just going to be using them all the time. Just going back in and blending. Now I'm going to do my lower lash line, but perhaps I'll probably do that after I set my face. So let me go in with a little bit of mascara. So the eyeshadow today was very simple and easy. They have this shadow stick in like a gold, so that's perfect for like wedding makeup and stuff like that. For lashes, I'm gonna go in with the Poppy and Ivy Darling lash in the style Haze. It's a natural volume lash, the kind of lash that I like. I think my eyes are too small to handle lashes that are way too big. Now that the lashes are on, I'm going to go in with my powder blush to set down that liquid blush from earlier. This is the Revlon powder blush in the shade Very Berry. To brighten under my eye a little bit, I want to brighten up that area. I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 334, which is Warm Sun. I'm just going to go in on a powder puff. And you can see the difference between this side and this side. Now I'm going to go in to set my face with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Why do they always have to come up with these extremely long names? Now while that setting spray dries down, because it's not fully dried as yet, I'm just going to work on my lips. I'm going to go in with a brown liner. This is the Morphe lip liner in the color called Trend Setter. It's like a nice warm brown. So it's not going to pull gray on your skin, on your lips when you apply it. Now for my lipstick color, I'm going to go in with this L'Oreal Paris. What is this? It's a liquid lip. The color is called 428 I Explore. I'll put the exact name of it in the line that it's from in the description box, along with the other products that I used in today's video. It's very liquidy, so I'm just going to let that dry down a little bit while I decide if I'm going to go in with a gloss. Now I think my face could do with a finishing powder. Like sometimes after my makeup is finished, if everything does not look as smooth and airbrush as I want it to look, I go in with a finishing powder. This is the Black Opal True Color finishing powder. This is the Soft Velvet finishing powder, and this is 600 Dark that I am going to go in with. Alright, so that is what the shade looks like. As you can see, it's like my skin tone complexion. I'm just going to go in with my powder brush and just swirl that into the makeup. And you can already see the difference between this side. This side looks a little bit more airbrushed in comparison to this side that does not have any of the finishing powder on it. So it's always good to invest in a finishing powder. And this one is from Black Opal. It works good and it's pretty affordable as well. I'm just going back in with a little bit more blush. When in doubt, add more blush, because blush, first thing to go throughout the day. First thing to go. Just going in with some finishing touches. This is the same Maybelline Fit Me powder that I used a little while ago. For my lower lash line, I'm just going to go in with this LA Girl Glide, the Glide Gel Liner in black. Now for gloss, I'm just going to go over with my LA Girl Gloss Topper in the color Clearly Clear. Alright guys, we are all done with the makeup just in time, because my dog, I don't know what was wrong with my dogs. Well, let me just explain quickly. Like, one of my dogs is in heat, but we have her in her pen, in her kennel, and another male dog is out and he's just pining and barking because he can't get to her. So I'm so sorry, that's why the dogs were keeping so much noise in my video today. So my apologies. So sorry about that, but I couldn't do anything about it. But the makeup is all done. I think the face turned out beautifully today. Hope you guys like it. Hope you can use it probably for like a date night, or as I said, even a daytime, because we have eyeshadow on, but it's not overpowering. It's nice and subtle, and I think it's cute. I think it's cute. As I said, I finished off. I don't normally do it, but sometimes I find if I need to, I can go in with a finishing powder to give me that really airbrush look at the end. So you can invest in you can try the Black Opal True Color Soft Velvet Finishing Powder. The shade I use is 600 Dark. This one suits my complexion perfectly. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for yet another video. I don't think I was that chatty today. Today was just cool vibes as always. Just cool, calm, collected. You know the deal. So I will see you next week, Sunday. Until then, I want you to have a fantastic day. Have a fabulous week wherever you are. And I will see you on Sunday. Bye guys.